Hello, my friend. Alicia Lynn Diaz here, transformational healer and creator of the Enlightened Body System, as well as the Soul of Healing Summit. And I want to share with you today a topic that is very, very near and dear to my heart because it is one of the concepts that has truly helped me heal from facing a life sentence of pain and pharmaceuticals to do with my gut imbalances that I was experiencing, as well as my reproductive system and these debilitating headaches that used to shut me down for days. I've been really blessed to travel the globe and study with some world-renowned master healers, both in India and the US, and become an Ayurvedic practitioner myself, and then merge this practice of Ayurveda with my background as a clinical exercise physiologist, as well as my deep self-learning around psychology and emotional healing. So where the physical health and emotional health and mental wellness all intersect is my most enthusiastic offering to you, because where these come together is what is so often missing. What I find is missing in the holistic health and wellness industry at large. And so the ancient tradition of Ayurveda is a medical system that's over 5,000 years old. It has its roots in modern medicine today. And when we can glean the wisdom from the system, releasing any of the dogma from it, release anything that you may have even learned about it before as only to do with nutrition or body typing, put all of those aside. There's an ancient wisdom here that actually merges with this deep understanding around psycho, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And so what I want to share with you today is how to detox on the level of the mind and emotions so that you can free your physiology, have more energy, reclaim your health and vitality, take back your healing power into your own hands. And so if you've ever found yourself just conflicted by the information overload out there and frustrated, hitting dead end after dead end, or having a hard time implementing protocols that practitioners give you, or not being able to follow through with the things that you start because either you don't know if it's working, or you don't know if it is going to work, or your symptoms kind of wax and wane and up and down and you can't tell what's working, what's not working. One of the things that feeds is our own self-sabotage. Well, I don't want to fully give myself to this thing because I don't know if it's going to work. So then let me just dabble in this and dabble in that and try a little bit of this and try a little bit of that. And this ends up in a pattern of self-sabotage. Do you know what I mean? So in order to stop the self-sabotage, one of the things is that we have to stop believing the lies that our mind tells us. And now there's an aspect of you. So one of the ancient wisdom teachings of Ayurveda is that every little cell in your body is a microcosm to the macrocosm of you as a whole. And in the same way, the whole universe exists within you, within every being. So you have access, and every cell in your body is a center of intelligence of all of life. And so the thing that blocks that intelligence from blooming and creating health and vitality and having our body work in all the ways that it should work, that it knows how to work, one of the things that simply blocks that are the belief systems in our subconscious mind and what we think. So whether you think you can or you cannot, you are right? That famous quote, whether you think you can or you cannot, you are right. And so our belief systems and our expectations and our how much we enroll in the lies that our mind tells us will actually guide energetically the cells of our body. And so one of the things that we say in the enlightened body system is that you are the leader of your cells. You are the leader of your cells. Oh, there's glare on my screen. I don't know if you could see that, but just say that with me and stand up tall and feel what it feels like to just say, I am the leader of my cells. I am the leader of my cells. That is the first step to taking your power back, because your cells follow your example. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. Wherever your mind is, and only 5% of this is your conscious mind, what you're consciously thinking. So you even saying, I am the leader of my cells, starts to reclaim your power. But the other 95% is in the subconscious mind, where your beliefs were imprinted in the first 7 years of your life. And so your cells are going to follow suit to these imprinted beliefs in your mind, whether you realize it or not. So once you can develop a little bit of a practice of mindfulness and self-awareness, you'll start to see that the thoughts, the tens of thousands of thoughts that you have throughout the day are one of two types of thoughts. They're either constructive or they're destructive. The destructive thoughts are the ones that we want to cleanse and purify, which is why we're talking today about emotional detoxing. So when you can remove and cleanse and purify those emotional negative emotions and thoughts and feelings out of your subconscious mind, where they lie dormant usually to your conscious awareness, but they're there, it's happening, these programs are playing out, then your cells can follow the lead of something much more true and constructive to your health and well-being. Make sense? I know this is a little bit theoretical, but I am going to bring it into these 3 steps that you can do immediately today to totally take your power back, to remove the blocks of the negative thinking, of the emotional and energetic constriction in your body. Remove those so that your body is free to heal and regenerate the cells and to start coming back into a normal rhythm and function. And this melts away pain. This melts away weight, excess weight that the body's holding. If the body is underweight, it will help put healthy weight and muscle back on. It will free up the bandwidth of your mind so you don't have so much brain fog, so you're not so exhausted. All of these things, so that you don't have headaches constantly. That was one of the things for me, was short-circuiting my nervous system, and it was shutting me down with these intense, like migraine-like headaches. And so freeing up the emotions helps you reclaim your own self-healing power. And I've been blessed to be able to share these teachings with thousands of people around the world who also have experienced this enlightening of their cells, this enlightening of their body too. So let's dive into the steps. So here's how to do it. 3 things that you can try today to support the detoxing of your emotions. And if you want to learn more, just go to my website. I have a lot of free resources on my website, free trainings and things on this topic. But right now you can simply go to alicialyndiaz.com and just download the 8 hidden emotions that are harming your health and how to transform them. And that's a free gift to you. And I'll walk you through even more of the details of the emotions, how different emotions are stored in different organ systems, and the steps to heal those, to transform those, to release those, and how to enlighten your body. For now, I'm going to give you 3 really simple steps. These are actually deeper processes that you can work on. But first is to be able to detox these negative thoughts and emotions out of your physiology. You want to first make sure that your nervous system feels safe. So we want to create safety in nervous system. Now, one of the ways that ancient Ayurvedic wisdom comes into play here is through this practice of warm self-oil massage. Now, this sounds kind of funny, but when the nervous system, which is, directly connected to your mind and emotions, when your nervous system feels unsafe, or you've been in a negative spiral with your health for a while, it creates a fear in the nervous system. Whether the fear and anxiety was in the nervous system before and that's what caused it, or the physical symptoms caused the anxiety, it doesn't matter, because being able to create safety in the nervous system will stop that downward spiral. So one of the fundamentals of Ayurveda looks at the body from the perspective of, like I said, one with all of life, with all of the universe. And so your nervous system, if there's fear or anxiety in the nervous system, this is equated to the element of air. So when there's excess air element in the nervous system, that manifests as fear, anxiety, constriction. And when you think about it, if you were to stand outside in nature when like an oncoming storm or tornado, think about yourself like in the middle of the desert where the winds are really high. What would happen? What would happen to your skin? Well, excess wind is cold, right? You'd be cold. Excess wind is dry and rough and light. And so in the nervous system, it creates this quality of dryness, lightness, coldness, roughness. And these qualities essentially are the same qualities as fear and anxiety, because when you're afraid and anxious, your body feels tense and it feels constricted, and cold is constricting, and the emotions tend to be dry. I feel isolated and separate from the other people in my life, from love, from the world, right? So this is just an analogy, but the air element is in excess in the nervous system when there's a lack of safety. So what the warm oil does actually is all of your millions and millions of nerve endings on your skin are exposed to the world around you. And by the act of applying warm oil onto your skin, it actually brings a warmth and a lubrication, offsetting the dryness, and a sense of safety to the whole nervous system. It's almost like one of my students in the Enlightened Body System who went through this process. She had a trauma when she was being born, and so her nervous system was never quite right. Like she always had this anxiety kind of connected, to the world around her. She always felt a little tense and anxious, and she kind of drew that back to when she was born. And so she did this practice with great love and presence and mindfulness in a warm bathroom. She turned the heater on in the bathroom. She warmed up the oil, and she just asked for her hands, to be guided by the divine. And she did this oil massage, and she said she was transported back to the womb, and she emerged like a new woman. And she's been doing that practice ever since, and her health got better and better and better, and her body got stronger and stronger, and her skin got brighter and lighter. And so just one example of it's actually helping to heal the child within as well. But essentially, I'll give you a link to exactly how to do the oil massage, what kind of oil to use, all of that. But this warm oil massage by your own hands especially is a great way to start creating safety in the nervous system. And there are many other methods that we use in the enlightened body system. This is just the first one that I thought you would get great benefit from today to be introduced to. In Ayurveda, this is called an Abhyanga, self-warm oil massage. So I'll link to the how-to video. I created a beautiful how-to video, so you can follow me along in that video and learn exactly how to do it, plus all the other amazing health benefits of it. Okay, step 2, this is a journaling practice for you. This is called the 3-2-1 shadow work process. 3-2-1 shadow work. Now this is going to help you work through and resolve some of the negative emotions that are kind of right at the surface. So what you're going to do, 3-2-1 means third person, second person, first person. So in the third person, essentially what you do is you're going to take your journal and you're going to write down in detail a situation or a person that is emotionally taxing you. This could be an infatuation with a person, someone who you're just like obsessed over. Oh my gosh, he or she is so beautiful. They have all these qualities that I love, and how come I'm not that, right? This kind of frustrating dichotomy. And then it could also be something that frustrates you and annoys you, and a person that's driving you nuts. Or it also could be a situation that causes you to feel angry, like the world at large, or the hopelessness of the state of the world. These are all just examples. So you're going to write in detail what those are. And I kind of want you to pause the video right now and just go do the exercise, because then the next step, it's helpful when you do this with just total honesty and without even knowing the next steps. But I'll give you the next step. Then the second step is to turn this in from a third person into a second person. You actually talk to the person or the situation, and then you journal in the second person. I feel like you are doing this to me. I feel like this, this, and this. You're talking to the person as if they are sitting in the chair right in front of you, rather than the third person situation at large. Now the person is sitting in front of you in the chair, and you're reflecting on exact things, and you're saying it to them. The one is first person. Now you're going to imagine that all the things that you were saying to that person in the chair was a mirror. And you were looking at the ways that you have said those things to yourself. And what this process does, and essentially you become, your first person is the I am. Now this is based on the work of Ken Wilber, integral theory. And so you can read a lot about it online. This is one of the tools that we weave into the enlightened body system. But what we do is this 3-2-1 shadow work process in a deep kind of trance state of the subconscious mind to help rewire the subconscious mind and all the characters within your own psyche, your archetypes in your inner psyche. And so we do this kind of as a healing process, but you can start this on an easy to digest level with any situation that's in your life. And essentially what it does is help you reclaim something that you had disowned about yourself, something that you have disowned. And it's really powerful when you can be humble enough and have radical self-compassion to be like, oh, these are, so that person I was infatuated with, and I was saying, oh, they're so beautiful, they're so wonderful, they have all these great qualities, how come I can't do that? They're making all the money, or they're doing these things. And then you sit them down, imaginary chair, and you're like, you're this, you're that, you're wonderful, and I hate that you're so wonderful. Like, I want to be wonderful. And then you realize it's a mirror, and now you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm all these things. You have disowned that aspect, and this starts to bring the pieces of the fragmented aspects of your psyche back into wholeness. which is the point. The more fragmented aspects of our psyche and our subconscious mind, the more our nervous system goes into fear and the more we block our health. You simply being able to admit that the thing that you're annoyed about with another person is somehow something you're disowning about yourself. And sometimes it's the literal exact thing that you're saying, or sometimes it's like the opposite reciprocal. You're angry at your spouse because they constantly are disrespecting you and by leaving their clothes on the floor, right? That's like you feel disrespected by that. Well, when you look at it in the mirror, there are ways that you are disrespecting your spouse that you might not realize, or you're realizing you're actually just disrespecting yourself because you're not offering to, you know, give your gift as or to serve your family or something as a gift from your heart. Rather, you're expecting something in return. And then we start to basically reclaim these aspects of the lies in our mind and the pettiness that our ego is constantly engaging in, this drama of right, wrong, good, bad duality. And in this, you start to realize, oh, it's not the hopelessness of the world, state of the world that I'm angry at. It's because I feel hopeless to change it. And in that discovery, you realize, oh, this is actually something that's so important to me. And I have grief for the state of humanity. I can release that grief. And then I can come back into the remembering of why I'm here and my wholeness, and I can be humble and have humility that I was projecting the things outside of myself, and I can come back to my heart, because I realized at one point along the journey that I literally had to embody the things that I wanted to see changed in the world, and that my physical body was just an extension of my emotions that were angry and upset and felt hopeless and felt grief and felt sadness and all of these things, that in order for me to see this beautiful world actualized outside of me, it all started with me. It all started with me being the change I wished to see in the world. I had to embody those qualities. And so part of this 3-2-1 shadow work process is just getting honest with ourselves. And it actually brings us to number 3, which is very, 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 very important in order to be able to even do this level of work. I'm kind of actually surprised that I felt called to share this with you today, because this is intense work, doing the shadow work. It's reclaiming that we are all of it, and the things that we hate and loathe and love and despise and all the things, we are all of it because we are the whole universe inside of our being, and we need to make peace with that. So this brings us to point number 3, which is radical self-compassion. Radical self-compassion. Prioritizing your inner peace. Radical self-compassion. Having moment-to-moment awareness and acceptance of exactly as we are in each moment. As soon as you start comparing yourself to someone else, or comparing yourself to what you think you should be, could be, would be, you create suffering. And these are all part of the lies of the mind. And when you can release that fear-based mind, aka the ego, and you can come back into the present and just accept each moment with great compassion and love and humility. This isn't to say that you become apathetic, that you're never going to get better or things aren't going to change. No, but you being at it, prioritizing your peace in this moment and accepting where you are in this moment is the only fertile ground from which your health can bloom and can grow. So I hope that this was helpful for you today, and I look forward to connecting with you. Please visit my website, alicialyndiaz.com. I have so much more than what's here for you. And I'll see you very soon. Lots of love.